Yeah, let's go. I ain't the first with the curse, with the thirst that I wanna be better, not worse, man it hurts. I'm on this earth with my words and I put them all together, insert, cause I wanna have worth. Working hella hard till they put me in the dirt. Gonna go far, man, listen to my words. Gonna be a star, man, life's like a blur. When you're working this hard, yeah, you get what you deserve. Yeah, I ain't taking a backseat, I'm passing anybody else who is rapping. I'm nasty, ain't nobody able to catch me. They gasping, they cannot compare, they can't match me. I'm at half speed, I got your girl and she laughing and dancing, hanging on my butt, she asking to crash with me, smash with me. She savage, she wants cash money and she knows that I live lavishly. I wanna live, I'm cold inside, give all I have just to feel alive. I fight to live, I fight to strive. One day I'll have what I want. I want the whole world in the palm of my hand. I got a plan, I'm the man. Now I'm teaching the game, a veteran, better than anybody else who tests me. I'm ready, looking at my hand and it's steady. I'm trending, ascending and blending, lyrical bending. Now I'm spreading and getting my name out now. Yeah, they hear me laugh, all the crowds repping the sound. I'm hitting the ground, running, up and coming, ain't nothing. Yeah, rookie of the year, I'ma keep it 100. Cold-blooded, no budget, from nothing to something. I ain't bluffing, I got a full hand and a full plan. I ain't gonna stop till I'm at the top, man. Every single drop got me feeling awesome. I'm about to pop, started from the bottom, yeah. I wanna live, I'm cold inside, give all I have just to feel alive. I fight to live, I fight to strive. One day I'll have what I want in life.
But it's too late now. Hiya, guys. How are y'all? Hiya, guys. Can't hear Broken Bow. Oh, can they not hear me? Hiya, Neil. And you want a live stream from this channel? Okay, sure. If you haven't joined Discord, come join Discord.
Okay, guys, can you hear me now? I apologize about that. Settings didn't get changed. I had to change my mic back. But welcome to Gamers Paradise, where we're not players, we're gamers. Sorry you guys missed the introduction where we're going to be spectating Jen as she runs around and
Oops.
works on the apartment for the community Rust server. But this is for you guys to ask her any questions in regards to her previous occupation of being a 911 operator. So this is the first episode of many to come, we hope.
Yes.
So you guys just start firing questions away, and I'll do my best to keep up and start uh, relaying them, and hopefully I can keep up. We'll see how this goes.
Yes. Hi, I'm Agent.
Majin, you best be coming into this VC, sir. Come on now. He's like, nope, I'm out. Okay, Dom asks, what's the weirdest call you've ever gotten?
I think I answered this one the last in the last time whenever y'all interviewed me. The weirdest call, not gonna lie, I had 2 calls and almost back to back. Dom, plug your ears, of people having sex. Yeah.
The motorbike.
Yeah,
Says
one is the
DBT.
motorcycle, the other one, if I can give anybody a piece of advice, if you're, getting down with the lady or the lady's getting down with the guy or, you know, I say vice versa.
Any rendition of that?
Yeah, here's a piece of advice. Don't do it with the phone in the bed. Just don't. Nobody wants to hear that. I certainly didn't want to hear that when I got the call.
Okay. Just Kirsten asks, how long were you a 911 operator and why did you leave?
I was a 911 operator for 9 years. Well, just a little over 9 years. I left because that is a stressful job, all in on its own. But essentially where I was working at, I was doing 3 jobs. One person doing 3 jobs. I was a 911 operator. I was also a dispatcher and I was also a jailer. And so I had to take care of the inmates in the jail. I had to dispatch to our fire EMS and also to our deputies and our city police and to our troopers. And then I had to take 911 calls. Oh my gosh. I got burned out. I just got burned out. I'm just going to leave it at that. I got burned out and I just couldn't do it anymore. It's, you know,
It's a
you
very
see some
hard
of the
job.
yeah, you see some of the things yeah, and hear some of the things you hear. It's just it's rough and it is very it kind of changes you a little bit. And not gonna lie, I probably have a little bit of PTSD from it, and it's yeah.
Welcome in, Farm Trucker. Dom, before I ask this question, I am going to preface this to you. And to any of you guys that are out there, when you guys talk to any military, law enforcement, or first responder, it's usually not a good thing to ask somebody what their worst call is. Those are the calls that they don't want to relive. But Dom
No.
did ask, what was the worst call you've gotten?
The worst call I've gotten. Oh my goodness. I can't just pinpoint one because I've had several. Um, in the little community that we live in, we have 2 major highways that runs through. And every single bad call, with the exception of one, um, came off of those 2 main highways.
Yep.
Now, I will tell you my very first 911 call. I won't say my very first 911 call. When I started, um, when I started with the sheriff's office, I had probably 2 weeks training. I wasn't even quite certified yet, but they were so short-handed that after 2 weeks I was on my own. And my first bad major call I got was 2 days into being on my own, like me by myself, taking care of the jail, dispatching, and 911. Unfortunately, it was a fatality. I did not know it at the time of the call. So to set this up, we have a county road and it intersects with another county road. There was a truck driver who was in a asphalt truck. And so asphalt, I don't know if some of you guys may know, some of you may not. The asphalt truck, it's hot. The asphalt is hot. He was going down this county road that intersects with another one, but it has a curve, and then right at that curve there's a stop sign. He did not see it. He wasn't familiar with that road, so he didn't see it, so he didn't stop. So his truck went into, it's kind of like a large ditch, and then hit the ditch and out into the field, busted open the asphalt truck. I get a call from his wife because he calls his wife. He sounds from her, from what she said, he sounded calm, didn't think he was hurt. She didn't think he was hurt. So she called and said, "Hey, he had an accident. This is where he's at. He is talking. He said he's not hurt, uh, but he can't get out of his truck." So I call out our EMS and our fire department and tell him where he's at. Meanwhile, he's calling his wife, giving her the information, and I finally get his phone number and call him. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm stuck in my truck. I can't get out. Uh, I'm all right." He's like, "But my phone is about to die." So, uh, he's relaying what information he can to me. I'm getting everything that I possibly can. And then she calls back to 911. And oh my gosh, this is the hardest part. We get the EMS crews out there, and the paramedic that arrived first calls over the radio and says, "Hey, we need fire department to step up the call because they have to extricate him. They have to cut him out." Also, the asphalt, which we did not know at the time, the asphalt had ruptured out of the truck, and she can't physically get to him because of the asphalt. It was too hot. So we had to get sand trucks out there. Uh, Fire department gets out there. My deputy, who is also a paramedic, gets out there. And the next thing I know, like 911 is quiet. I'm not on the phone with them. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking notes on this call, getting it all logged in. And then my deputy calls over the radio to get a hold of the JP. Now, when they tell me to get a hold of the JP, that means that's a fatality. She has to go and pronounce the death. And I start freaking out. So I call a previous dispatcher, ask him to come up there because he was one of the trainers. And of course, I get JP out there. I don't know it at the time until the deputy comes and tells me what had happened when his truck hit that ditch. It kind of accordion. It made the cab of his truck kind of like an accordion. So essentially, instead of death on impact, he stayed alive. And the only thing that was keeping this gentleman alive was the fact that he was accordioned in the truck. And as soon as they removed him from the truck, he was gone. That was it. That was it. So I'm thinking maybe it's my fault. And this is just FYI. A lot of 911 dispatchers, when they have bad calls, that's one of the things that they think in their head. Did I get people out there quick enough? Did I get, did I take this? Did I call everyone quick enough? Did I do everything I possibly could for this for this guy? Is it my fault that he died? We go through that because a lot of times we get the first call, we know what happened. I won't say we know what happened. We get the call, so we know that there's an accident, but we don't really know the outcome unless they call over the radio that, hey, we need the JP or whatever. So we don't really get the outcome of calls. Uh, but I will say I'm not I'm not an emotional person that I used to be when I first started because it does harden you. It does, not gonna lie. Um, yeah. Uh, so when the deputy come in, that's one of the things I asked him is, hey, could I have done something different? Could I have called people quicker? I mean, if I would have called y'all sooner, or, mind you, this is seconds from the 911 call to paging everybody out. It's seconds. It's not minutes, it's seconds. It's one of those immediate things. So I did my part. I was just worried that, hey, could I have done something different to save this dude? Um, but the deputy, that's one of the things he came in and told me, hey, you're good. This is, the only thing that was keeping him alive was the fact that he was kind of accordion into the truck and, so yeah, that was one of the bad calls. Uh
So,
I'll touch a little bit on the very, very worst. They're all bad, especially when there's fatalities, but one of the worst calls and one that will stick with me. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's it's pretty bad. When you have a call, two calls actually. One I will not talk about because it has a baby involved in it and I just won't do it. I don't want to talk about that one. Um we had a semi truck versus an SUV of a family. I believe it was a family of 5. The semi truck uh, was in the right lane. It wasn't speeding. However, it was foggy, and the SUV went to pass another car and hit head on with the semi truck. Caught on fire. 911 call. There's a lady on the phone. There was a wreck. The car's on fire. The SUV's on fire. Um, they were able to get one person out, but she was standing kind of close by where you can hear the people in the car screaming. They wasn't able to get the other 4 out. They were only able to get one person, which ended up being the dad, and the rest of them perished in the call. So this gentleman lost his wife and his 2 kids. He was the only one to survive. That was a bad call.
mm-hmm. Yep. EBT said, many sleepless nights, I assume. Piggy
Many.
asked, what's the creepiest call you had? Real quick, before you answer that, I'm just going to kind of run through the list a little bit to get caught back up here.
Okay.
Just Kristen says, wow, was it kind of a small area or something? That's a lot for one person. EBT says hello to Farm. Everybody's saying hi to Farm. Farm says, to be honest, Jen, I would never be able to do that job.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person, I think, to do that kind of job. We used to always joke because in the process of getting this job, you have to go and you have to have a psych eval. So we always joke that it takes a crazy person to do this kind of job, which, I mean, I'll agree with that, kinda. Um, Yeah. So yeah, it definitely takes a certain kind of person to definitely do this kind of job. And yes, very, very uh, many nights of sleeplessness. Um,
Piggy, just to touch on your question, the creepiest call. It's not creepiest calls that we have to deal with. It's when you're working the jail alone, working night
and it's the
shift.
creepy people.
Yep, that's
It's
it.
the creepy people that come in. But creepiest call. I don't think I've really had a creepy call. I did have one call where I stayed on a 911 call for 30 minutes. So it was kind of a I think she was about 18, maybe 19 years old. She called and she was whispering, and I guess her parents were gone for the night. And she's like, someone's trying to get into my house. And she's whispering, she's like, I locked myself in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, so I'm talking to her and I stay on the phone with her. I call out our police chief. Uh, well, he's the police chief now. At the time, he was just a regular officer. I call him out, and her front door and her back door has one of those keypads uh, that you have to put in a code to unlock the door. So essentially it's kind of like these right here. You have to put in the code, but um anyway, I laugh at it now because it's kind of funny. At the time, my adrenaline's pumping. I know hers pumping because she's legitimately afraid. She thinks somebody is breaking into her house or in her house. So she's whispering, she gives me the code. I give the code to the officer. The officer's like, this code's not working. Is there a window in the bathroom? So she's like, yeah, there's a window at the bathroom. She opens it and she's talking to the officer. And then she's telling me on the phone, she's like, is he really the officer? Can you have him show me his badge? And so I'm relaying this to him and we're going back and forth for 30 minutes. And he's like, can I break the door down? I can't get in. And she's like, he's she's like, I'm too afraid to go to the door. There's somebody in this house. And he's like, I'm just going to break the door down. Well, he finally gets that back door open and he clears the house and there's not anybody but a cat. So what she's hearing is the cat. And that scared her to the point where she was locked into the bathroom calling 911 because she thinks someone has broken into her house. I mean, it's a laugh now. And I was still on the phone with her when the officer finally got into the house, and you can hear her. She was crying a little bit, but then she got to laughing because it was the cat and she didn't realize it. But I guess it was the first time that she was home alone, maybe? I don't know. But that's kind of I won't say creepiest, but that's.
Yeah. EBT asks, would you go back and do it again?
That's something I've gone back and forth with. Um, would I go back and do it again? Possibly, possibly. Um, it's been, let's see, April will be 4 years. Or no, this April it was 4 years since I had left the sheriff's office. So, um, possibly. I've kind of thought about it, about going back, because I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely loved that job. I absolutely loved it. Even though as rough as it was, I did love it.
She's just hesitant on it because I work there now. She don't want to work with her son. Just
It's not that I don't want to work with my son. It's just, you know, the stress of it is
hmm
is, it was my main thing and I just needed a break, I guess. But yeah, it was an awesome job. Absolutely loved it.
Welcome in, Liz. I know I'm a little late on saying that, but welcome in. Liz asked, What's the funniest call taken? Good grief, I can't English.
Again, it had to have been the two people. Oh well, actually, I take that back. The funniest. Okay, two of them was the two people who called having sex. Uh, the funniest was I got a call from a lady. Um, she had stepped out of the shower and she slipped. And I don't know quite how her house is set up or how her bathroom is set up, but she was laughing hysterically when she called 911. And so it was kind of hard to understand. But when she got calmed down enough, she was like, I'm trapped in between my bathtub and the toilet. And I'm like, how are you trapped? She's like, well, I got out of the shower and I slipped and now she's stuck in between the shower or I guess the bathtub and the toilet. And she's like, this is really embarrassing, but I'm stuck to a point where I can't get out. And she's like, I can't, there's nobody else for me to call. Can you have somebody come help me out? So I call call EMS for a lift assist because that's what we call it, is a lift assist. But then I talked to the head uh paramedic. I call him on the phone and I kind of tell him, and I'm kind of giggling a little bit. And he's like, "Go ahead and call the fire department because we might have to remove the toilet to actually get her unstuck." I'm like, "Okay." So here I am. I'm calling the fire department. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about our fire department. They are some awesome, awesome people. But if you're a female and you're naked, these are not the guys that you want to see you naked. Because, I mean, these are not the guys you want them to see you naked. But anyway, so EMS gets there. EMS gets there. The fire department gets there. They didn't have to remove the toilet, thankfully, but they did end up getting her out, and thankfully one of the female paramedics was able to wrap her in a towel before the guys got there. So all that was kind of hidden, but yes, that that was the funniest call, I want to say.
You're not wrong on that aspect, Jen. You're not wrong. Uh, Referencing that last call or the Dom's question, Majin said that's why we need hover cars. Neil says regular people never realize the pressure that's on dispatchers. I definitely understand your pain.
Yes.
Neil says nobody's dialing 911 for a good reason. I believe that uh, I believe that they're all bad calls. Um, Sorta, kinda. Um, we
Not all of them are bad calls. Now, we did get a lot of annoying calls. So, another piece of advice for you guys. If it's if it's snowing outside, do not, absolutely do not call 911 to get the road conditions. You will get a ticket.
uh, you'll now go to jail
That
for
that
that.
is that is abuse of 911. You don't call 911 to get road conditions. We have that a lot. It's a small town, and believe it or not, a lot of times when I got 911 calls, they knew who it was and they'd call me by my first name. They're like, "Hey, can you tell me what the road conditions are? I have to be in Dumas or I have to go to work in Dalhart or whatever. Can you give me the road conditions?" And I'm like, "You literally just called 911 for that? Do you have any type of emergency?" And as soon as they said no, it's like, "Okay, you need to call the office. Don't call 911 for that."
Yep, a lot of annoying calls, but there's not all bad calls either. I mean, some of them are just funny. Like you ask yourself, did I seriously just answer the phone and they asked me this? Um, to get caught up here, um, definitely def defo that and ambo people and the forensics especially, says Farm. I'm assuming he's referring to another something else you had touched on earlier. Basically all emergency services, to be honest. Uh, Mickey, the EMT, says yes. If any of the first responders are being called out, it's not a good day. Piggy says, you ever had a call when you couldn't believe somebody actually called you for that, like something daft,
Um,
all the time, all the time.
we okay, so we have two of the major highways, right? We have 287 54, but we also have Burlington Northern Railroad that goes parallel with 287, and then we have Northern Pacific that parallels with 54. So that crosses right through our town. Now, if we have a train that is stopped, um, or a crossing arm that gets broke, we get truck drivers that call 911 all the time. Um, one, one in particular, we had it was a train versus vehicle. Actually, semi truck. It was train versus semi truck. The train hit the trailer of the truck. The driver was okay. The train conductor was okay. Everybody was okay. So that wasn't like a very bad call. And it was a grain truck. So, and it was empty. So, like, no major damage other than the trailer was demolished. Which forced a train to stop and block one crossing, which happened to be our 287 crossing. Uh, Actually, yeah, our 287 crossing. So we had, uh, no, our 54 crossing. So we had a train blocking that, just that crossing, and truck drivers, instead of taking a few minutes out of their time and going down the road just a little bit and then turning back to get to the unblocked crossing, they called 911, like 10 calls within 5 minutes of truck drivers. Hey, the crossing arm, the train's blocking, we can't get through. Uh, yeah, we've had an accident. Um, it'll get unblocked soon. There's another crossing down from you. You can actually get past. But yeah, it's one of those they don't like to listen. So, yeah.
Farm Trucker says that is why I hate bathtub showers. Um, Mickey the EMT says she has heard the story from the EMS side and it is hilarious.
Yes.
Uh, Neil says that's crazy to call 911 for road conditions. It happens every year.
All the time. Oh my gosh, all the time. And
EBT.
one thing that always used to aggravate me is people who, okay, how to say this delicately. Because I live in a small town, everybody knows everybody. But you get some of these people that feel that they're privileged, and because that they know that you work at 911, they think they're special and that you will do anything and everything you can. Um, One in particular happened to be snow related. Um, it was very very dumb. This is another one of those,
Don't
Piggy.
call 911.
Um, when TxDOT when TxDOT grades the roads,
Excuse.
sometimes especially if you live off the highway, it's gonna block your driveway. Do not call me on 911 and say, "Hey, Jen, my driveway is blocked. Can you call TxDOT and have them come and scoop it out since they um, graded all the snow there?" I'm like, nope. And you need to call the non-emergency line. You called 911. Well, this is an emergency. No, no, it's not. Are you hurt? Was there an accident? Um, it's not an emergency.
EBT says, but Jen, they don't have windows to look out of. I think he was referring to when we were talking about the jail. Piggy asked two questions. First question, you ever just want to slam the phone down on anyone? And then the second one is there many home invasions?
Here in this town, there's not very many home invasions. We get more false alarm calls than anything with, hey, someone's breaking into my house. It's um
The cat.
more every once in a while we'll get a legit home invasion call. But 9 times out of 10, it's, it's a false alarm. It's either a tree hitting a window from the wind, or, it's just kids walking down the street and they hear people talking, and the way their house is set up, it sounds like they're right there. Um, I have wanted to slam my yeah, I have actually. I've gotten a domestic call on 911, and I'm not saying anything bad. Domestic violence is bad, period. Whether it's, against a guy or against a girl, domestic violence is bad, period. When it's just a screaming, yelling match, and the two parties that are screaming and yelling, and then you have another party at the house um, that calls 911, and they're screaming at you, and you can't get them to lower their voice to where you can understand them, is very frustrating. And then whenever you do finally get the information that you need and you send the police there, and the police, they don't feel like the police are doing their job properly, or they don't feel like it's how do you put it? They don't feel like the cops are on their side, put it that way, or that they're doing what the cops, like, they want the cops to do, instead of what is legal and right to do. Um, they scream and they yell at you and call you every name under the sun, and you have to just grin and bear it. There, one lady in particular, which she no longer lives in this town, thank goodness. Um, she would call 911 all the time. And it was a screaming match with her every single time she called. A lot of times her call was ridiculous, and she finally learned after our police and even our deputies finally gave her a ticket for misuse of 911. Everything was recorded. I told her the last time that she had called, everything was being recorded, and um, this isn't a legitimate emergency. And, you know, the name calling and the screaming at me because you're not getting your way is just ridiculous. And, you know, I hope that you don't actually have an emergency in the future, because it's gonna affect the call or the respawn time.
Ooh, EBT asked a really good question.
Do what?
EBT asked a really good question.
Okay.
EBT asks, how do you feel about Broken following in the similar path within the emergency services?
I'm proud of him. I'm very proud of him. Um, I'm kind of thankful. It's in a small town. How to explain this? Okay. We may be a small town, but we still get some of the same things that big cities get. Uh, I'm thankful that it's that he's starting out in a small town, but also at the same time, I do worry about him. It's 'cause it's not an easy job, and knowing some of the people that you have to deal with, um, especially in the jail, um, and having to go hands on hands. I know he could take care of himself, but as a mom, but not also as a mom, but also as a previous jailer and dispatcher and 911 operator, it just takes that one person. So I do worry. I know he could take care of himself, but I do worry. Just because I know some of the people that I had to deal with, that I had to go hands on hands with, I don't want him to have to do the same, you know? That's something you don't want anybody to have to go through or to have to deal with,
Yeah. Welcome in,
especially
Glenn.
especially mental wise too, with the, with how sometimes stressful calls can be. It's not something you want. It's not something I wish on my worst enemy, to be honest with you.
And I do have to stay just to go inside with that. With me being in this field, um, it's really good for me just in the aspect of when I get those bad calls, I know I have the person that I can debrief with. Because one of the first things that you go through when you go through the psychiatric test to get the job, they ask you, do you have a support network where you can go and talk to somebody if you have to deal with this, that, and the other? And I can honestly answer that question, yes. And I've utilized it. Jen has utilized it. Mickey has utilized it, where we get a bad call and it's a phone call. Hey, Jen, need to talk. It don't matter what time. You if you call Jen, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning our time. You can call Jen and be like, hey, I need to talk. She's wide awake. She's it's like she was never asleep. Let me put it that way. And she'll talk the call with you, or talk the
Yes.
situation with you. So it has been. I am glad that I am able to say that I do the job that Jen used to do, because I know at the end of the day, if if I'm having a hard time struggling with it, or I'm just not sitting okay with that call, I can
Mhm.
debrief with Jen, and we'll talk about it, and she knows the ins and outs, and she knows
I
what our
like
protocols
that.
are.
Awesome.
So it's very helpful, very helpful. Piggy asks, I've seen a video of a sheriff saying they encourage gun use in home invasions, but wasn't sure what state that was in. Is it the same for you guys? Because he said reoffense is 0% if the perpetrator was stopped.
Okay, so there's two sheriffs who's like that. One is in Arizona and the other one
Mm-hmm.
is Florida.
Yep.
Where they actually one in Florida has in the middle of a press conference has asked
Agent.
people to I won't say asked, but has requested it's easier and less paperwork if you kill the guy who's breaking into your house than it is for us to arrest him. I mean, pretty much put that way. Now, our sheriff that we have here, um, I won't say he encourages that, but it's not frowned upon, put it that way.
Yeah.
It's not encouraged, but it's not frowned upon.
Majin says Slipknot said it best, lol. People equal shit.
Truth.
EBT
Truth.
says amen. Piggy says that's right. And then Majin had to put in there, not us here, of course. EBT says he agrees with you 100%, referring to the previous conversation. Uh, you are very lucky, guys. It's nice to hear that, says EBT. I believe referring to the last one. That's very heartwarming to know. Yes, it is, Piggy. Mickey says yes, and I am so thankful for that. That's the one he was in press conference, says Piggy. EBT
Yes.
says off topic, but I wonder what Majin is dancing to in Rust. Majin?
Um, he was dancing because I don't know if you guys saw that. I forget that Broken is spectating me. So this is what he was dancing about. This right here. I told him I really like that. So when he does the little dance thing whenever see he's floating. He does a little dance thing whenever it's like he's done something that is I say he's done something. He's always doing stuff that's pretty cool, but yeah.
When he's proud of his work, he dances about it.
Yes.
Farm Trucker says, same here, but you still in deep sheet. Uh, to be honest, paperwork does not get done here, says Farm Trucker.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that could be something that needs to be addressed, depending upon what type of paperwork needs to be done. Piggy, you ever had a call when you tried not to laugh because of what they said? All the time.
Yep. 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 All the time. All the time. And more times than not, um, either I'm trying to hold back a laugh or I'm trying to hold back from just really telling them how I feel and just how irritated and how just purely stupid they are. That is a hard one for me.
Hmm.
Um, several times I've had to bite my tongue to keep from saying, "Are you stupid?" But yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had yeah. I've had several calls where I've tried not to laugh, especially when I mean, you have to have a
You have a dark sense of humor doing the
You
job
do.
we
You
do.
do have a dark sense of humor. And just FYI, guys, just FYI. There is some videos circulating around on YouTube on police cams, like the footage of their body cams, and they're on wrecks, and you hear them laughing, and you hear them cracking jokes, and there's a body bag next to them. Um, just so you know, FYI, it's not that we're being insensitive. It's that
It's our coping
that
mechanism.
is our way, like Broken said, to cope with it. You see so much bad crap out in the field. You hear bad crap. It's okay, what? Wait, huh? You need it. Yeah, you do need a dark sense of humor for sure. You do.
EBT says, catches criminal. Jen says, gotcha, bitch. Source, trust me, bro.
Yes.
uh, have you ever received a call from somebody just to say thank you?
Um, I did. I did. And it was from uh, oh gosh, I'm gonna cry. Give me a second.
As as she gathers herself, I want to say, guys, the you y'all don't realize just how much of a thankless job we have. Not very often do we have somebody that recognizes who we are. We're just a voice behind the phone. They can't put a face to the voice. You think about your local town. How often have you had to call for an emergency service and you hear that voice on the phone, and then once you hang up, you don't think about it again? The people you see all of the time is your law enforcement, your fire, your EMS, your sheriff's deputies, your sheriff, your city officers, your nurses, doctors, things like that. We are incorporated in that, but we're the faded out profile picture of just a blank screen. We're that little silhouette. We have no face because you don't get to see us. It th- for me personally, honestly, coming from me to you guys, this is the first time that I've ever come across anybody that was interested in talking about the things that we've seen, we've done, or just taken an interest in that line of the field at all. So that is a major thank you from active duty. I can say thank you from for Jen from former, and it's there's been a lot of arguments and a lot of fights amongst first responders in the, well, they don't deserve to be there, but we do, because without us, how would you get the call? Where would you know where to
Yeah.
go? So I
But to
think Jen
answer
is
your
ready.
question, to answer your question, Piggy, I did have an actual 911, well, I won't say 911 call. They did call the office instead of 911, but we had a little old lady. Um, her husband had passed away, and she was by herself all the time in her house, and she would call 911. Just a lot of times it was just to talk. She was lonely. Her husband had just passed away. So, me being me, um, I would sit there and not talk to her. We'd probably stay on the phone for about maybe 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes at max, just talking. I quit telling her to call the office, the non-emergency number, because um, I don't know if she just couldn't remember the phone number or what. I quit telling her after the third time of her calling. And just, you know, I had told the sheriff about it at the time and said, I don't, it's not a problem for me. It keeps me company just as much as it keeps her company because, hey, we get lonely there by ourselves too. Not gonna lie, we do. And so I would talk to her. She would call oh, probably about two, maybe three times a day of an evening. Sometimes it's just to say what she was cooking for supper, or uh, that she was gonna go see her kids, or that her kids was gonna come down, or just little small stuff. Um, I'm gonna cry again. I'm trying, guys. I'm sorry.
Piggy says, I'm sorry, Jen. EBT says, Piggy, you broke Jen. Mickey says, darn it, Piggy, you broke Jen. EBT says, oh no, I fully understand. It's a thankless job 100%. I'm literally in the same position right now at work. Uh, Farm Trucker says that's so true, and people need to step up and do that more. Absolutely. EBT says we love it and need more. You guys are the best. Thank you for what you do and what you have done. You have a heart of gold, says Piggy. Sir D says there's no crying in baseball or live streaming. Shrugging shoulders.
Ah, true. Well, I mean, this little old lady, she was sweet. She was the sweetest little old lady. Um, I didn't get a call from her one evening, and I'm like, well, okay. So I checked the previous logs to see if maybe, she had called not on my shift. And I happened to see her address wrote down on there that they had a uh, medical call for this lady. And it was probably, I want to say, just a couple of hours for me looking at the backlogs to see what the medical was about and whatnot, that I got a call from uh, a nurse that this lady, um, she had passed away. And it was it was pretty sad. And I cried. I bawled like a little baby. And I cry now because I mean she was the sweetest little old lady. Um she gave she was needing to get a hold of, I don't remember who it was that she was trying to get a hold of, but anyway, her family needed to be contacted, and so I gave the sheriff's phone number. Sheriff, I guess, went and contacted the family that this lady passed away, and I got a call from the daughter like the next day, and she was telling me how her mom would tell her about her calls with me, and just how nice, and just, how we just would talk to one another. And she wanted to thank me for those last moments of her mom, for her mom, because she was having a hard time since her husband had passed away.
Yep.
She just wanted to thank me for being compassionate to her mom, and not, even though she was calling 911, not, making a big issue or a big deal about it. So, yeah. Okay, move on. Something else.
Yeah. Farm Trucker says, is that not Broken's work to break stuff? Yes, Farm, it is. uh, EBT says, Farm, I believe that's Limp Biscuit. EBT says, just a reminder to all that the emergency service staff are human. And Farm says, you're making me cry now.
I'm sorry.
We deal with a wide range of things, guys. I mean, you have your frequent flyer callers that are calling because something just didn't go their way, and they think that it's our job to fix that issue. So we have those calls. We have our actual emergency calls, medical, fire, home invasions, issues such as that. You get your calls like what Jen has, where it's just one confused individual that just needs a couple seconds of your time to gather their sense about them and to move on. We
Yeah.
I want to go back to what Neil said earlier, where Neil said that all calls to 911 are kind of considered bad. When you're sitting behind the desk and you hear that phone go off, that's the first thought. Your first thought is, what is it this time?
Yeah.
What emergency am I fixing to hear? Uh, Nowadays we have this new technology, guys, that I don't know about everywhere else in the world, but here in the States, our new 911 systems, we can now video call 911. So if you call 911, that that operator is going to send you a link. It's going to give us better accurate location of where you're at. If you allow it to use your camera, you can show us what you're looking at. So we're in a new day and age where, I mean, the calls are stranger and stranger. You can send pictures to 911. You can text 911. You can video call 911 now. I mean, that is even implemented here in my little town. Let's see. Everybody's telling farm bye. Let's see. Got to go do some modding, guys. I will see you again, and thanks for this. Love you all. Bye, farm. We love you too, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Much loves, farm. Have a good evening.
Piggy asks, "Want to slap me as a killer in DVD?" uh,
Well, I won't slap you. No, no. I mean, it's just it's part of it. I mean, you get, I'm not probably got attached to that little lady. That's why I still, get emotional about it. But like Broken said, you don't it's nice to be recognized, and it's nice to have that thank you every once in a while. I think I said this before on our first interview, or it might have not been our first interview. It might have been during a live stream, but some of your top suicide rates. I think it was a podcast. It was with HKA, I believe.
you also said it when we were doing your staff interview.
Military, police, your first responders, military, police, are one of the highest suicide rates. But what you don't see is dispatchers, their suicide rates are higher than that. I think they mark your military as the highest suicidal rate.
Mm-hmm.
Dispatchers are. Your 911 operators are. In my tenure, my 9 years of being a 911 dispatcher, we've had two that I personally knew, um, went to classes with 911 operators take their life.
Mm-hmm.
We, I think things have kind of have changed now, but when I was dispatching, when I was doing all that, we didn't have what the officers had as far as mental health help. We could not, we couldn't get that, we couldn't get the same uh, benefits or treatments that police officers get. So if they're having like a hard time, um, they would go to their supervisor. Their supervisor would be like, okay, we're going to set you up with somebody. For us, when we were having a hard time, we would tell somebody, hey, we're having a hard time. We were told to suck it up. That's how it was. We were told to suck it up. Um, a lot of us did. A lot of us didn't. Unfortunately, the ones that didn't, I won't say chose the easy way out, but they
Chose the way that they believed was the only way out.
Yeah.
Let's see. EBT says, even on social media here, I believe you were referring to the 911 system I was talking about. Yes. Our 911 systems are even attached to social media. If you guys are on TikTok at all, if you ever see an Amber Alert come out, at least for those of us in the States, if you see an Amber Alert come out, guess what? It is now posted on TikTok and it has a direct link to 911. If you're riding in the car and you're scrolling through and you see that Amber Alert and you're on the road, they want you to be able to just hit a button to get in contact with us, so that way we can get that person help. Sir D says, even if she doesn't, Piggy, we would love to see that, referring to the smacking her around. Piggy says, sounds like a plan. Piggy says, I've gotten very attached to a lot of people I've worked with and have had screaming matches with family members, so I understand. Welcome
Yep.
in, King Fox. King Fox asks, has there ever been something you've seen that has just put you in utter shock?
Oh, so this is a Joe question.
That's what it
um
sounds like.
oh, oh my goodness. I don't know if I can answer this question because you're a minor. So, the majority of the inmates we had to take care of are men. We did get some uh
Female.
women. We just don't get as many women as we do men. Two instances. I can't talk. Close your ears, Fox. Yes, for sure. Close your ears. So, you can imagine it being a dude, it being a guy, when I'm making my rounds to serve lunches or suppers or just to do a head count, you can imagine what you walk in on. Because
Keep in
mind
mind,
you,
they're locked
the
up 24 hours. They don't go nowhere.
the bathroom is open. There's no like curtain to keep you from not seeing what they're doing in the bathroom. There's no curtain to keep you from seeing what they're doing when they're laying down in bed. There's only a handful of cells that you can house more than one person in it. Uh, so the singular cells, you can only imagine what you walk in to. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Use your imagination. I've seen it, every bit of it.
Yeah.
And females the same way. I'm not kidding. Sometimes I think the females were even worse than the males. One in particular, she liked to go naked all the time. And she would get up on a table and twerk, butt ass naked.
Oh goodness.
That is not something you
You
want
want
to
to
see.
No. Piggy says, "Oh yeah, they all get creative. Yes, they do." Majin says, "Facts." EBT asks, "What made you choose that line of work to begin with?"
I had worked in the oil field. I was coming out of the oil field. I worked with my dad. Um, I was privileged enough where I got to work with my dad for 4 years, I think.
5.
Um, and yeah, we were coming out. You gotta see, hold on. You gotta see this, Majin.
I like what you did with the bed there, Jen.
I made it the car's bed. I'm leaving your doors open for him so he can wire it up.
That's fine. Thank you.
Um, so yeah, It's coming out of the oil field because we got laid off. My dad was laid off first, and then I got laid off. And um, if anybody ever worked in the oil field, you know that it's not a very reliable source of income. You're getting laid off, it seems like every other freaking month in the oil field. So I went to the sheriff's office. I had a deputy. He was also one of my dad's friends. My dad was a veteran. And so the deputy that he was friends with was also a veteran, also a paramedic. And he talked to me. He's like, hey, um, you should come to work at the sheriff's office, be a dispatcher. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try it out. And I did, and I didn't look back until after 9 years was up. And then I was like, I'm done.
Yep.
I did my time.
EBT, I'm not going to read that message because that's going to go straight to her head. Just kidding. EBT says, Jen is a tough cookie. Jesus. King Fox says, ew, I hate those tough cookies.
I don't know if I'm a tough cookie or a dumb one because, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you'd call me. I wouldn't call me tough.
well,
Um,
I will answer that for you. You are a dumb tough cookie because we were raised to be tough by Papa. So you're a tough cookie, but do we do some of the smartest things? Not really.
I keep getting sidetracked on what I was doing.
You're good. Just so everybody is aware, if you hear me say Papa, that is referring to her dad. That was my grandfather. I'm so used to calling him by his name, Papa. So just so everybody knows who we're all talking about, we're talking about the same person. And Piggy says, "Nah, not dumb."
I don't know. We'll agree to disagree.
If only you have heard some of the other stories that cannot be said on live, Piggy. Again, one of these days, I told you guys in DBD, one of these days we're just gonna have to do a video call on Discord where we can just all sit and talk together. Then you can hear some of those stories. Let's
So this is what y'all are seeing. What Broken is spectating me on is this is an apartment complex that I built for you guys who play Rust. You know, uh if y'all need a place to stay or whatever, feel free to join us over here.
So, quick plug time. Gamers Paradise does hold three, yes, three Rust servers, one console PvE server, and two PvE servers for PC. This is our community server that Jen is on. She has built a community base, her and Majin have, to allow some of the community members to come together and have a place to stay, hang out, play games, do whatever. If you guys are interested in joining us, for those of you that are already a part of the community but not in Rust and you just bought it, send me your Steam ID or one of the admins, and we'll get you whitelisted so you can join the community Rust server, which is Gamers Paradise PvE. For those of you that are not a part of the community but want to play on a Gamers Paradise server, go check out Eden Rust. It is an open PvE server. You are welcome to join, play, have fun, mind the rules, please. For those of you console players, go check out GP PvE. That is our PvE server, and I believe it is an open server as well. There's no password on it. I'm not sure,
Not sure, Jen, what?
Is the console server password protected, or is it an open PvE server?
The
On the
console, it's open.
Okay, it is an open server. So be sure to come check us out, hang out, have fun, join the Discord. We have a lot of gamers because here at the GP we say we are not players, we are gamers.
We're gamers.
So we have a lot of different gamers that play and have joined our Discord. So if you're somebody that doesn't like to play alone, be sure to come join us. I'm sure we've got somebody that will play with you on something. With the amount of members we have, I'm sure we have every game under the sun. And as EBT likes to say, one of these days GP is going to have a server for every single game, and he's probably not wrong.
Well, I don't know. That's a lot of servers. It's a lot of servers.
Okay, Dom wants to know, what is your coolest call?
Coolest car call?
Call, not car, call. Different kind of
Coolest
different kind of car episode
call.
series.
The coolest call was a lady having a baby.
Of course it was.
And she wasn't here, like she didn't live here in town. They were actually traveling through, and her water broke.
Excuse me.
And so uh they called 911, and of course the husband's driving, and she's on the phone, and you could tell she's trying to remain calm, but also at the same time you can tell she's kind of hurting too. They shouldn't have been traveling, and she even said that they shouldn't have been traveling. But her water had broke, and she wasn't sure what they needed to do, if they needed to stop or if they needed to just keep going and meet the ambulance somewhere. Um, I told them just to keep going, that they were uh, almost to a hospital, or almost en route, or en route. They were just 30 minutes from a hospital. And so yeah, that was the coolest. I don't know. They didn't have the baby on the phone with me because I transferred the call over to Moore County as soon as they got out of our county. Our EMS couldn't like reach them because uh they were already, gosh, probably about 20 miles outside of our town whenever they called, and it bounced to us. So I mean, there wasn't a whole lot I could do.
Okay,
That
Piggy.
was the coolest call.
Piggy, I'm gonna have to ask you to clarify your question because Jen may understand, and I'll go ahead and ask it. But Piggy asks, you ever had anyone come to you and ask for emergency help?
Like in person? Is that what you mean? In
That
person?
I'm thinking so, but I'm not 100% sure. That's why I asked her to clarify. Like, yes, in person, she said.
I have. The scariest thing, I say scariest. When you work nights, I had a lot of calls. Oh my gosh, a lot of calls. And it's hard to pinpoint, or I won't say pinpoint. Uh, hmm, how do I answer that? Okay, yeah. So I had a lady come to the sheriff's office, come to our door, and I had to buzz her in. But it's also scary too when you see someone kind of covered in blood come to your door at the sheriff's office. It's kind of scary, and before I even buzzed her in, I was already calling asking for a deputy to be there at the to come to the sheriff's office, and immediately paged out EMS and had them come out to the sheriff's office because I didn't know what was going on with this lady. But yeah, she came, and whenever I buzzed her in, she told me what the issue was, which happened to be a domestic that happened, and yeah.
Let's see. Piggy asked, "Did anyone ever expect you to just know everything about what happened to them or what was happening to them
All the
all the
time.
time?"
All the time. Just about probably
90,
90% of the calls.
90 to a good 95% of the people that we talk to on the phone expect
Mhm.
us to be able to be standing
Know
right next to
everything.
them and see and know
Know
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
There's always been like a running joke with dispatch or 911 operators and dispatchers. The running joke being we are doctors, we are psychologists, we are
Lawyers.
lawyers, you name it. I mean, we're just about everything you could think of. People treat us accordingly too.
Mm-hmm. They do. They expect us to have a PhD in everything and be a fortune teller.
Yep.
And we're not a robot. We're a human. As EBT has said, we're all humans. um, Dom asks, "Have you ever had anybody scream at you?" Yes,
Yes. Um, via phone and also in person.
that is a daily occurrence. Also, um,
Yep. All the time.
okay, Piggy, I see you with this question. Do they ever question you why it's not like how they see it on TV?
I've had a few I've had a few calls like that. Um, it touches a little bit on okay. Before I answer that, I'm gonna take a quick little break. I gotta get something to drink, and plus I have to run to the restroom real quick.
Go take you a break.
And
I'll keep them entertained.
I've got to do my resolve on this call that I'm fixing to tell you about that I don't really want to touch on, but I will talk about it because it will answer your question. I will be right back.
So, Piggy, I will answer your question with my experience. Yes, I have had people come in and say, "Well, it's supposed to be done this way because I've seen it on TV. It's because it's on TV. It's this way." And no, I'm sorry, but real life is um, uh, completely different. Real life, we have different rules, procedures, and uh, there's everybody gets this. How do I put it? What is the word I'm looking for? They get this idea that because they've seen it on TV, it's real and that's how it works everywhere, and it's not the case. Um, huh? King says, "Jen, is there one thing you have regretted?" I don't know where that went. Yes. Well, it's um, Jen's answering the question, but she is on a break, so I am answering with current events that have recently happened. Uh, let's see. You have perfected your look for that question. Okay. I cannot read English today, apparently, guys. Um, so the reason Jen took a break is she needed to get a drink, and there are, as I've said previously, there are just some things that some people don't want to talk about. So yeah, Majin, you're about right there.
Okay, I'm back.
Broken. Has anyone ever tried to tell you how to do your job? Yes. Um,
I am
it,
also I do that to him all the time. I'll hear him on the scanner. I'm like, dude, you just did that freaking wrong.
I will preface it this way. Everybody's trying to be a chief and not trying to be an Indian. Um, Meaning everybody wants to try to be the boss and be in charge. Uh, but the one that is in charge has told me not to change anything that I'm doing because he quite enjoys the way that I'm doing my job and I do it very professionally. So, Jen, yes, she has tried to a couple of times tell me how to do the job, and I'm like, hey, we can't do it that way anymore. Rules have changed, policies have changed, and she's like, well, we used to. I was, well, that's used to. That's not what I was trained to do, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh,
but who was it who was calling me not too long ago asking me, "Hey, how do you do this?"
that's because I was not trained on how to do it, and I was expected to do it, and I was like, it. I may get in trouble for it being wrong, but at least it got done and got done somewhat correctly. So, and I did. I called Jen and I was like, hey, you've been out for 9 years or for 4 years, almost 5 years, something like that. But do you still remember how to do this in particular? And she was like, yeah. Why? I was like, I need it done now, and I need you to
Mm,
talk me through how to do it because I've never done it for one. I had all of about a week of training before I got released and got put out on my own. So it's everything I have learned has been trial by fire. So Jen did save me a couple of times, and she has been like, hey, you do it this way, this way, this way, and this way, and once you're done, that's it, kind of a thing. So yes, she certain times, certain things you can accept the being told how to do the job kind of thing. So and I will say I am very thankful that I have been able to do that and call Jen because some things just would have not never gotten done because I didn't know how to do it. Uh,
okay, so
Bye,
we need to
Fox.
go back.
Have a good one.
Who left?
King Fox left. He said he had to
Oh,
go. He's got to dip out because he's got to go deal with dogs.
okay. So to answer that question that you had, Piggy, how okay. Refresh my memory. What was the question again?
Let me see. Uh, have you ever had anyone come to you? No, wrong one. Where were we at? Oh, do they ever question you why it's not like how they've seen it on TV?
Okay. I'm not going to get into specifics because
Well, you can't.
I don't want to talk about it. Uh part of my job, um, part of my job description is I was a supervisor. And so I had to review. I did not take this call, but I did have to review the call. I had to make notes on the call. I had to do a debrief kind of on this call. To set it up, there was an accident um, involving, I believe it was 6 people in a vehicle. Uh, 2 adults, the rest were children. One of them was a baby. The accident happened. Uh, the baby in the car seat and 3 other children were ejected from this car. Truck driver, this almost got uh, a deputy, I won't say fired, almost, if it wasn't for the call, the recorded call that more or less I had to review. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have gotten fired. There was a truck driver who stopped and recorded on his cell phone and took pictures of these children that were ejected. There was only 2 of the children who were fatalities. The baby was one of them, and that's one he did a recording on and did a pictures of. And out of this man's mouth, when he called 911, is this doesn't look like it does on TV. Now, to be sensitive, head injuries are extreme. Head injuries do not look like what TV makes it look like. You can use your imagination
And
on what this baby looked like.
even your imagination's not going to touch it.
That's as much as I'm going to talk about on that call, because that call having you don't have to take calls for them to affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And that call itself, or that whole incident itself, from the very first call to when the scene was clear of all emergency crews, was about 5 hours. So I had 5 hours and multiple 911 calls that I had to review, not to mention all of the recordings from the officers, from EMS, from fire,
All radio
all of that I
traffic.
had to review. So it's not just calls that you take that affect you, but it's also calls that you have to review. I was a supervisor, so I had to, anytime that there was a major 1050, or for instance, a shooting, if there's fatalities, whatever, I was the one who had to go through and review all of the calls. But not only that, for my people who were dispatchers, 911 operators, I went in and I debriefed them. I had to go, because I didn't have I was not going to let my people not have the avenues that our law enforcement had on mental health. So I sat down with them and I would talk about the call with them and make sure everything was okay. We would go over the calls. We would talk about what we could do to be better as far as dispatching or just to reassure whoever took the call that you did everything you possibly could. There's nothing else you could have done. You know, that's pretty much, yeah, that's what I did for my people.
Okay. So
Have you
Dom
ever?
asked two questions. Dom asked, what is your longest call, and have you ever saved someone's life on a call?
Okay. So, uh, my longest call was probably 2 hours long. Um, it was a high-speed chase, and it went through um 2 counties, 3 counties, 3 counties. I was this is pretty bad. So I had to so okay, how our setup is if I needed to, I could go across the radio to Dallam County, to Moore
Ooh,
County, to Hansford County. Um,
you're not supposed to throw
I had to
names
do
out there,
that
Jen.
for this high speed chase. Because I initially got the 911 call, I had to relay all the information to it and then take over dispatching uh, for this high speed chase. Yeah, that looks weird. So yeah, uh, have I ever saved anyone's life as far as on a call? That one, I have not had to tell somebody how to do CPR on a call. We were not allowed to do that. Um, I could not uh, give advice to somebody who has called that who someone was unresponsive. I, I've gotten plenty of calls of someone not being responsive, but legally wise, I was not allowed to tell somebody to perform CPR because that then makes us liable if CPR
Fail.
in that person's mind, if the CPR did not work, they could turn around and sue us because, oh, you told me how to do it wrong, or oh, which is also a double-edged sword.
Yep.
These 911 programs on TV, you see these dispatchers telling them how to do CPR on whoever. Yes, some places you can do that. You have to be medically trained 911 operator in order to do that. Um, but you also have to take that liability if it doesn't work, that people could come back and sue you for it.
Yep.
But we also have that double-edged sword here where we cannot tell you how to do CPR, but also at the same time, they can turn around and sue us because we didn't tell them they needed to do CPR. But we're not allowed to do that.
And
That's what's hard.
and that's where the double-edged sword gets even worse, because now they've made it a requirement through the entire state that all telecommunicators now have to have a telecommunicator CPR card, which is basically a license for all 911 operators to be able to instruct somebody over the telephone how to do CPR. But it is utilized through department policy. And if that department says, no, we're not going to do it, then that's up to the department. But still, if you, even with that license, you still have to take full responsibility if they choose to sue because they were not happy with the outcome. Because I hold my license.
I have saved somebody's life in person though.
Uh, Piggy asks, you ever had anyone who was trying to perform some sort of medical procedure on the injured person and it didn't work because uh, it was because the procedure was from a TV program?
I have not had that kind of call. Now, okay.
Bye,
I have
Dom. Have a
had
good one.
have a good night, Dom. I've had somebody do something really stupid and because they were inebriated, but I won't tell you how they were inebriated. Um Not necessarily trying to perform a medical procedure, uh
Did they
but
brand
trying
themselves?
do what?
Did they brand themselves?
They were trying to remove a piercing.
Oh, gee.
I won't tell you where that piercing was at, but it was below waist, put it that way.
Oh, geez. All right. Do we have any other questions for Jen, Texas Cutie here? Piggy, where did EBT go? Did he just up and leave us? Majin, are you still here? Where's our people at?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Um, I hope he didn't rip himself in half, Piggy. Piggy says EBT ripped over to his dad a minute. He's wrangling
Well,
owls, says 30.
what was used to try and remove the piercing wasn't exactly what you should have been using.
It was a coat hanger.
Just saying.
It was a coat hanger. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know that call. Well, guys. Um, I think we may have run out of questions for this episode. I'll give them another minute here. Uh, you ever? Oh, good lord. Okay. Have you ever had run into a person you were on a call with and thought, "Damn, you're dumb"?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I see Majin in
And
the corner.
and not this is gonna sound really, really bad. But at the same time, uh, if you knew if if you knew, you would understand. I have met a person who has called 911 and I have actually asked them, not really asked them, but more or less said, I believe my exact words was, "How stupid could you have been?" Not necessarily something you're supposed to do, but, you know, I happen to know the person, and I happen to be like, "Dude, you're dumb."
I just leave it for the sheriff to do. He
Do
will.
what?
I said I leave it for our sheriff to do now, because he'll get there and he don't care. He's one that will speak his mind, and if you did something dumb, he's just gonna call you
Yeah, but there's times where the sheriff does stuff dumb too, so
dumb.
shit, I did it again.
Piggy asked, "Did anybody ever run from you because of the call they made?"
I can't say that I've had anybody run from me, no.
Now, has she had people walk the other way in the grocery store just because they they finally have realized things? Yes.
Hence the uh people having sex call.
Yeah, I would have to say I don't like that. I don't like that for her. I would say if I was that person, I would definitely avoid you at any time I saw you, because that's just very embarrassing.
I'm not above telling somebody that they did something stupid, but also at the same time, it's like, okay, you're entitled to that one. Make sure it's just that one. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, uh, that's just, I'm sorry. I don't know if there's any help for you if you don't learn from your mistakes.
uh,
Especially if it is something dumb and you know
yeah,
it's
right.
something dumb and you do it again and then you're like trying to get the opposite outcome of what you got the first time and it doesn't happen. It's like, seriously?
Right. Piggy says that's the last thing you want anyone to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Uh, Piggy says I had my daughter ring emergency and my phone broke, so I couldn't put phone down, and we just kept laughing because it happened twice in the matter of 1 minute. Now, we've had those where we've had kids get a hold of their parents' phones and call.
Funny story. Funny story. So, you want to know what Mr. Broken did when he was a
Oh
kid?
no, 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 no.
Shut your mouth, boy. Shut it. I'm telling this story.
Oh
Okay. So he
darn
was,
it.
oh my gosh. Oh, how old was he? Probably about 4.
No, I was older.
Was you older?
I was.
I don't think you were older.
I was 8 years old.
Were you? No.
Yes, I was.
No.
Because when the
Was you?
cop came to the
Okay.
house, I was playing in the
Okay,
little police
hush.
car.
Hush. Let me tell this story. Let me tell this story. So,
Fine.
I had an old cell phone, right? For all you parents out there, make sure you remove the batteries from these phones if you give them to your little kids to play with. Make sure you remove
Oh,
the
that time,
battery.
yes, I was younger. I thought you were talking about
Yes.
the time that I used the landline and cops
No,
came to the house.
hush. I want to say he was probably about 4, maybe 3. Uh, he, I gave him a little, well, I gave him my old phone,
It
is
was
what
a
I
Nokia
did.
phone, just so you know. It was the old
And,
brick phone.
I gave him the phone to play with just to get him out of my hair because he was just being a total freaking brat. And uh gave it to him, let him play with it. He proceeds to call 911 21 times. Now, funny fact, the 911 operator happened to be the supervisor when I first started. So she
Oh,
knew me
geez.
and I knew her. He called 911 21 times on that phone that was no longer in service, and I had thought the battery had died. Well, let me tell you, they make these cell phones that even if the battery is dead or it doesn't show anything and you hit 911, it automatically connects. Emergency services, 911, if you dial a phone that has no service, it automatically connects. So 21 times in the span of 2 minutes, he called 911. I get a pounding on the door. Knock, 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 knock. I look out the door. I'm like, oh, there's a cop at my door. Why is there a cop at my door? I open it and he's like, do you have kids? I'm like, yeah, I got two. Why? I start to worry now because, I thought both my kids were at home. Apparently not. But that wasn't it. He called 911 21 times in 2 minutes. So he's like, the officer's like, do you have a phone? Yeah. Well, one of your kids is calling 911 and we can give you a ticket for that, but we just want to make sure everything is okay. Automatically, I knew who it was. I'm like, Ethan. So I get broken. He's like crying because he thinks he's in trouble, which he is. He's in major trouble. He just doesn't know it yet. He doesn't get in major trouble until after the cop leaves. He's like, you know the difference between calling 911 when there's an emergency and just calling 911. So he's all crying. We're reassuring him. Yeah, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. He apologizes. He leaves. The cop leaves. I turn around, snatch that phone, take the battery out. And I'm like, sir, no more. No more. I believe he even got his little Honda busted that day too.
That's still
21 times in 2 minutes.
that's still
21
nothing.
times.
That's still nothing compared to the time that my mom was at work,
Oh shit. Scared me.
my grandpa was out in the barn, and I was in the house by myself. And I take the landline and I call 911 because I just wanted to talk to somebody. And then a cop shows up, and I run out to the barn because the 911 operator told me that there was going to be a cop coming to the house. I I ran out to the barn. I was crying and freaking out. I told my grandpa, we go and sit on the front porch and wait. Cop shows up, asks if everything's okay, tells me to quit playing with 911, and then proceeds to stay on the porch talking to us for over an hour. Really enjoyed that officer. I can't remember his name. I don't remember who he is, but if you happen to remember that call and you see this, I really enjoyed having you there. But I did. I got my grandpa left it for my own repercussion. He made me talk to the officer and everything. I was about 8 at the time, maybe a little. I was either 8 or 7. I don't remember exactly. I know I was older than the first time when I called 21 times or 31 times, or hell, it could have been 51 times.
We've had some interesting things.
Hmm. That we have.
I tell you, you know what gets really annoying? We were talking about annoying calls. So we're farm country, and for our farms, they have these sprinklers. Um, they have for their crops, they have them tied to phones that when the sprinklers quit, they call the farmer or send a text to the farmer saying, "Hey, the sprinkler's down, uh, needs to be fixed," or whatever. Well, sometimes those things go wrong, and it's a constant 911 call from a sprinkler. And how
Or
you know it's a sprinkler is you hear the it gets very annoying.
you know, or you lose power and all of these fax machines decide to start calling 911.
Yep.
And when you answer it, you just hear the dial tones and you're like, really? You know you put white carpet in my room, right?
It's not white, it's gray or black.
It's gray.
It just looks white.
No!
Oh, wait, maybe it is white. What? Do you want the white or do you want the black?
I want the white.
Okay.
I like the way the room looks as it is. Piggy, I apologize about that. I thought I removed the filter for that, but apparently I didn't. I will have that fixed for the next one, I promise. Um, let's see. Didn't my brother get in trouble for calling 911 too?
Nope. Nope. He never got in trouble for that. Just you.
Just me. Oh, see,
And look at you now. You're a 911 operator.
yeah, now I get to deal with that. Yes, Piggy, just me, apparently. Right? Piggy says he loved it too much.
Yes, yes. Which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I know EBT asked this question on, what I think about Broken following in my footsteps. On some things, I hope he never does follow my footsteps or follow in my footsteps because, I don't, you don't want your children to do some of the same things that you have done. Um, so yeah, but that, I am proud of him that he has chose to do that profession, but also at the same time, I worry. I'm always gonna worry. I mean, hell, I worry about everybody, and they don't have to be blood related. I worry about everybody. Just, ask Dirty Civil, ask Majin. I'm all the time, hey, you okay? You sure you okay?
Good old boy, farm truck, Felix.
Yeah. I'm a worrier. That's what I am. I'm a worrier.
Piggy says, I am the. Oh, jeez, what? Where did that message go? Oh, there it is. I am worst when it comes to the kids. She
Yes,
says it's a mother thing.
it is. Very much. Very much. I will agree.
Can you
It
put.
is def
Sorry, squirrel, off topic. Can you not put a floor down on the stair landing? Will it not conform
no.
to it?
Nope.
That's annoying.
Yeah, no, I can't put anything on the stairs.
Civil says very true. Piggy says, all medics and doctors hate me because I have the knowledge of what they are saying. And then Civil says, "We love you, sis."
Love you too.
And then Piggy says, they can't pull the wool over my eyes. I bet you get get same, Jen. Get the same is I think what she meant.
Yep. Yep.
Welcome back, by the way, Civil.
So, sister, you need to come and see the apartment. This apartment monstrosity that I built.
That Jen is still waiting for Majin to name because she refuses to do so.
I don't refuse to do so. I just told him he can name it.
So Piggy asks, Jen, have you ever told anyone everything they are doing wrong in the situation?
Um, like, what do you mean? Like, during a call or after a call telling another dispatcher that they did something wrong? Like,
Uh,
what exactly are you meaning?
Civil says, I had the stream on my TV been rebooting my PC and resetting my network for the last hour or so. Get a new network, Civil.
Like if they, huh? Like if
What?
in the situation.
I think she means
Have
put a
you ever told
band-aid on
anyone
it.
everything they are doing isn't?
So I think she's referring to like in a situation where say somebody got stabbed in the hand with a knife and they pulled the knife out and then they just put a band-aid on it.
Um, so, kinda, um, I've had a 911 call. Dang it, I
That floor
still
is
did that
backwards.
wrong. Really?
Yes, really.
Um, I've had a call where, what was the exact words he used? Something along the lines, "Hey, is a bone supposed to be sticking out of a leg?" Uh, I think at that time I was taking a drink of a soda and I spit that out whenever he said that. I'm like, "Oh, what?" Yeah, is a bone supposed to be sticking out of?
Bone sticking out of a leg.
Yeah,
She got sidetracked.
I did. So, yeah, yeah.
Who's knocking on the door? Majin.
So yeah, I mean, I haven't really told anybody that they were doing anything wrong. Um, but I've had somebody like ask stupid question like that before. Like, is it supposed to be? No, no, it's not supposed to be. Where are you? Let me get somebody over there for you. Let me send you help,
so
please.
so Jen, with Piggy's question, you have to tell them about the time that you passed out at work and you got taken to a hospital quite quickly. Because Piggy asks, any medics you dispatched ever pass out?
Um, I've had okay. That is a two-part question. I have had EMS go out on a call and had one, yes, pass out on that call, and I've had to call or page out. Actually, it was a fireman, not EMS, but a fireman who passed out at a call, and I've had to call for uh, not mutual aid, but for um,
Assistance.
our medic two. So we got our Stratford one, and we have Stratford two. So I've had to call for our second EMS truck to come out because of that. Now, since it broken, decided to throw me under the bus on that. So I was dispatching one night, and I had a deputy up there in dispatch with me. We were talking. I happened to move the chair a little bit and try and like pick my leg up. And when I picked my leg up, I nailed my knee like under there's this solid wood
Support
beam.
beams.
Yeah, support beam um that I hit my knee on, which it caused me to pass out.
And to seize.
Like and have a seizure, I guess, pain induced seizure. So yeah, I've had that. Uh Yeah, EMS got there pretty quickly. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Whenever I finally came to, I didn't know what was going on. The deputy was kind of standing over me, helped me set up into a chair, and then was talking to me. He happened to page out EMS to come and get me. I don't think I've ever seen people move as quickly as they have had that day. Um, I guess when it's one of your own, it's one of those you get people there quickly in a hurry. So, um, yeah.
I'll put it this way. I was on the volunteer fire department at the time. I was at work. I was working where she works now. So I was working at the lumber yard. I hear the page go out. Before my grandmother, my nan, could call me and tell me that they were taking my mom to the hospital, I heard the page go out. I dropped everything I was doing. I looked at my boss at the time and said, I'm gone. And I clocked out and ran out the door. I got to my house, got my wife picked up, and we left the town at the same time, but I beat the ambulance to the hospital because when you hear that somebody passed out and had a seizure at the jail, there's only one person that was there at the time that was working. So I knew exactly who it was. I knew it was my mom. And yeah, that you get everybody moving very quickly when it's one of ours.
Everything turned out okay. It just screwed my knee up. That's
And they cut your brand new pants.
yeah, they did do that. That they did.
I remember
Screwed my knee up. I was on crutches for ever.
I remember when we finally got into the hospital room after they got Jen settled. The first thing that Jen said is, "They cut my brand new pants." Me,
Hiya,
Nikki,
sis.
and my grandmother laughed because she was worried about her brand new pair of pants than her laying in the hospital bed.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about being in the hospital. I'm the type of
Yes, I
person,
was.
okay, so if
Yes,
something
I was,
medically
Peggy.
was wrong with me, if it wasn't for EMS coming to pick me up, I wouldn't have went. And they were good pants. They were brand new freaking pants. They were my tactical pants that we were forced to buy.
Yeah. Yes, Piggy, I was very worried about my mom because it goes back down to, as first responders, the first thing that comes through your mind is the worst of the worst situation. I knew what Jen did for a living. I knew what she had to deal with. I was a state corrections officer. So when they paged out for that, my first thought was she just got into a fight. She got hurt. And as more information got put out there, why they were being paged out there, I was like, okay, she had a seizure. What happened? Did she hit her head? The worst of the worst situation ran through my head. Then that was my first instinct was I need to get up there. But then I was told not to go up there, just to go get everybody and get ready to go to the hospital because they were going to take her quickly to the hospital. And they did. They did take her to the hospital quickly. But if I remember correctly, one of the medics that was there said that when they were trying to get the IV, you bled like a stuck hog for a little bit.
There was a trail of blood um, from the dispatch area where they had me on the gurney, uh, leading out to outside.
Yep. So, needless to say, I was worried for my mom, and I have never moved as quick as I did. Let me put it that way. But I guarantee if the roles were reversed and the shoes were on the other foot, Jen would be doing the same thing. So, I mean, it's
Well, yes, I would be doing the same thing for sure. But I would, someone's playing the piano.
Ismaisian, I think.
I would go up there and you know that saying, hell hath no fury than a woman scorned? Well, hell hath no fury than a mama bear.
Yep. I'll
And I don't,
go ahead, Jen.
I'm one of these that, to be frank with you or to be, quite honest with you, uh, as Broken has always said, um, anybody can call me in the middle of the night and say, hey, I need you. Don't ask questions, but I need you. I would be there in a heartbeat. I've already had that kind of call before where, not kidding, 2 o'clock in the morning, um, get a phone call. Hey, I need you like right now. Uh, I piled in my car and I took off. And it's a good thing too, because probably saved a life that day or that night, that morning.
Sir D says tactical pants with
Tickle
a
pants, yep.
with a smiley face that has a monocle on it. Well, guys, I think we're gonna leave that for episode 1. Not sure when we'll do another episode. Definitely give you guys some time to think of some new questions. We appreciate all of you guys being here. Um, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching Jen work on the community Rust server apartment, and you guys be sure to join us on the Discord. Come hang out with us all. Excuse me,
Yes.
Sir D, if I could get you to put the Discord or one of the mods here, if you guys could do the Discord. Be sure to check out our merch store, get you guys some Gamers Paradise merch, and be on the lookout for Magen's interview coming soon, I hope, hopefully. And the second episode of 911 Stories. Y'all have a great night. Thank you guys so very much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys. Much loves.
They say time heals every wound, but I guess they don't know me and you. All the destruction we cause ourselves hurts like nobody else. Heaven is almost in my hands. After all that I've been through, I've got nothing left to give. Say a prayer, take a moment. In the end, it wasn't all for nothing. Can you hear the sound of my cry for help? Do you even care? Because this hurts like hell. I know that I'll never be perfect, but I know that I do not deserve this. Heaven is almost in my hands. After all that I've been through, I've got nothing left to give. Say a prayer, take a moment. In the end, it wasn't all for nothing. Try to justify all the things that you said and all the things that you did. Try